This is the 217 Recovery Podcast with Corey Winfield.
Alcohol does damage the brain, but I don't know if it went that far with them already. I don't know. I drink a lot. I'd like to think that I'm not like that.
And co-host Marney Winfield.
Sometimes there's a very small window that if something doesn't happen and there isn't action made in that short period of time, that it might not happen, maybe not ever again.
It is the 24th of September, 2022. My name's Corey
My name's Marney Winfield.
and that's Marney. Hey. Welcome to the 217 Recovery Podcast, Saturday night. Oh, it's fun. We're going to have the intimacy game coming up in a little bit. Marnie's going to tell a story of her choosing. Oh, she looks like she's so ready to tell it. You should see her face right now. She's like, oh my gosh, let me start it off with that.
I completely forgot about the story thing, actually.
Oh, you know, honey.
What?
Now you're just playing with people listening. It's going to be a great story. I can't wait to hear it. Just when she was telling me her idea about it the other day, I was just like, oh my God, save it. I want to hear it all on the podcast. So it's very exciting, but that's coming up. But there's also exciting stuff coming up here in Traverse City and probably all over the country, all over the earth, of the world. Mm-hmm. It's Recovery Month.
Happy Recovery Month, everybody.
Yes, and it's coming to an end, sort of. We got another week of September, but like I said, it's always Recovery Month for me. And we were invited to another thing coming up in Lansing on the 30th. I don't think we're going to be able to make it. They said something about they wanted us to do a podcast or live, but I don't know if we can make it. It costs gas to go places like that.
Right.
Funds is limited right now. But coming up on Tuesday here in Traverse City is Porch-A-Palooza. And it's going on at Addiction Treatment Services. There's a couple things I'm a little excited about, confused about. I'm scratching my head.
Okay.
And it's all in the name of science. That's what you can say to get away with anything, by the way. No, first of all, there's a comedy show. Sam Miller, he's in recovery. He's funny. Curtis Matthews, also in recovery. They started this thing called, don't quote me on it. That's not what they called it. It's called like Sober Comedy Tour.
Okay.
Or something similar to what I was kind of thinking about. So I really want to talk to these guys. And that's at the City Opera House. Doors open at 6. Brother James going to host it. Hopefully that's not racist. Sober Eats food truck, when we were in Lansing, they were there. Mm-hmm. And there's going to be a nature walk. And this is all at Porch-A-Palooza. It's 1010 South Garfield in Traverse City. It's at the Porch. It's a property of Addiction Treatment Services. Kind of where they have their outpatient services, stuff like that. Euchre tournament. Take home crafts.
Nice.
Let's talk about that. Who's running that? Like, how can I get over there?
I'm not sure who's running that.
And you can't just make the crafts. No. You take them home.
You get to take them home.
Yeah. There's a marathon recovery meeting, which I asked Adam if that was like speed dating, and he didn't know. He would assumed. But I think it's just meeting. And they're different types of meetings, right?
Yeah, they're back-to-back meetings, is my understanding.
Okay.
So they're going to have a selection of different meetings that are going to happen during the day and different, like multiple pathways. So I'm pretty sure there's going to be a SMART meeting. There's going to be a Dharma meeting. There's going to be a 217 Living in Recovery meeting, AA meeting,
there's gonna
an
be
NA meeting. And there might be probably double of those kind of throughout the day because it starts at 10 and it ends at 4, I believe.
I think it starts at 10 and then ends kind of as people go to the City Opera House, and the doors open at 6 for the comedy show. But
okay. Yeah, so, fun stuff to do, and there's going to be lots of snacks and things there.
Well, because if you see the flyer and it says Marathon Recovery Meeting, the first thing that my mom's going to think is like, oh, wow, they're going to have a meeting for people recovering from marathon racing. Or like running a marathon, which, hey, whatever, man. Like, if you're in recovery from running a marathon, then you're in recovery from addiction, gambling.
I think it's a play on. I think it's a play on words thing. It's it's the meetings are just going to keep on going.
Kind of like cornhole.
They're going to have
some people call it bags.
Bags. I think you told me that once.
Because that has to do with like the anus, is because there's like a play on words, and like, oh yeah, in your cornhole.
Actually, they're bags full of corn,
right,
and you throw them into a hole that is on a board.
But actually, there was a
it's
guy
very
one time,
very kind of like straight up
he had this
literal
cornhole,
translation.
or corn fetish, and that's why they call it a cornhole. I guess I don't know how that one. I'll have to look
that's
that up
how
on
you
the
can
internet,
think about
but-
it the way you want, but the game and exactly what it is pretty explanatory.
I like this next one though. I mean, we're talking about events that are going to be at Porch-A-Palooza this Tuesday, 1010 South Garfield, Traverse City. Plant workshop. Like, this is right up my alley. So this is what I hear it, I see it. This is my take on it. People show up and they plant flowers at the porch. So you're like getting people to do your work for you. Is that what that is? Or
I can't tell you.
plant workshop.
I don't know the details on that.
It's
I don't
pretty
want to be
sneaky.
misleading.
I like it. When we get an office one day, we're gonna have plant workshops. We're gonna have
Paint workshops.
vacuum demonstrations. We're gonna have dust finders.
No, that's
class.
That's not. It's going to be a good time. It's fun in recovery. It's come whenever you can, leave whenever you want kind of deal. So why not showing up and,
And the euchre tournament, I wonder how that's, because I've won a euchre tournament. If you want to go back to was it 2020 podcast?
Mm-hmm.
Early
How many people were in
2020.
that tournament, Corey?
50, 60.
No, there wasn't.
Yeah, it was insane.
Where was it?
It was at the club in Charlevoix.
Oh, I didn't know there were so many people in it.
Oh, yeah. Okay, maybe there was 40. But there was a lot. Like, that whole building was packed.
So you won it by yourself?
Yeah. Yeah, how it worked was, like, you couldn't, and Ryan Beckman took second, and he cried. Sorry, Ryan. I'm not really sorry, because I win. That's what I do. But Ryan, he liked to win, too. But no, it was cool that he took second. But no, we showed up, poker tournament. I think we paid $5. I think I won, 50. But it's like you play a hand with somebody, and then you win. Of course, that's what I do. And then you switch partners, and you win. But however many, I can't remember how it worked. However many you got yourself. Like, I was playing with a partner, but it was individual. So however many, damn it, I don't remember. I just remember that at the end of the night, they held me up and put me on their shoulders and were like, champion. And the Queen song started playing, we are the champions. I was like, take the we off that shit. I was like, change it to Corey. Corey is the champ. So they all started singing that.
Mm-hmm.
I could tell the story about that.
You could.
Lead into your story.
Maybe you do that.
It should be story time. You can't be the only one telling stories. I'll tell a story. Not about that, though. But I did win the euchre tournament, my point. And it was for a sober cause, and is that an AA club, Charlevoix? Mm-hmm. I still consider that club, most of those people, my people. Yeah. I need to go back. I want to go to a meeting that Tom, and they used to have meetings all the time there, then COVID happened, and now I don't even know when they have meetings there. I don't think they have a lot of them there. Not like they used to. And Tom was having his meetings in Charlevoix at the park on Wednesdays. And I really want to get to one, but it's kind of hard. Anyway, that's just my personal stuff there. Thanks for listening. Mm-hmm. Resource tables, acupuncture, a nature walk. I had a question about that. I think that's going to go at the end of it. Do you know where this nature walk's happening?
I think they might get a selection of people that would be interested in that, and then take them maybe to the hiking trail that's over by, that starts at Logan's Landing, maybe. Mm-hmm. It goes around the lake. Could be.
Okay.
I don't know.
No funny business out there though.
No. Okay. I wouldn't imagine so.
So it's not hey, get at one, you get out there. That'd be hilarious though. If they're everybody get in the van, and then they go out to this place, they're all right, let's get one with nature. And then they just start getting naked.
Why does your brain work like it does?
I don't know. It's a nature walk. That'd be hilarious. I was asked about a ride today. Hey, can you do a ride? And I'm like, no, unfortunately that place refuses to work with us. So I was like, we can't really do that. And then we started kind of texting back and forth. And I was like, have we ever taken this person before? And they said no. And anyway, I said, maybe I do need to take this person. And said, well, this person, and it sounded like methamphetamines was the choice, and a lot of times people hear things and they see things that aren't there and they really believe it, you know, and you talk to them, they're like, no, there's a devil here, you know, and you're like, well, okay, well, let's just get you over here then where there's no devils, you know. It's crazy sometimes, but I said, maybe I should take this person and dress up as Satan and give them a ride to treatment. And the whole time just be like, I'm going to take your soul unless you change your tune. And the person said, yeah, that probably was not a good idea. And that's probably not why we thinks that you're not taking this person today. Have a good day. I said, it was funny. That's what I said anyway.
Who thought it was funny?
Who thought it was funny? Mm-hmm. I did.
Right.
I thought I was zinging one there. Like, that would be really funny. Taking a person who already thinks like there's a devil inside of them, and then I'm like, I'm Satan, boy.
That's not funny at all.
If I dressed up like that?
No, that's not funny at all.
You never know what it takes is what I heard. Never know what it takes. What it's going to take to get somebody right. Probably end up getting me shot, so that's probably not a good idea. Or punched in the face. I really don't like that, so I don't know. I was just throwing it out there, you know, because from the conversation, it was like, okay, this person, like this person is kind of like the other Corey out there, you know, like what's it going to take this person? Mm-hmm. How many times? And I was like, well, can't give up, and you can't do it for them. It's really tough. Mm-hmm. But that's when I had the idea. So anyway, it's long. That's all right. 13 minutes of BSing. What's up? No, we talked about an event coming up, so that's good.
That's good.
Do you want to get into your story now?
I'm wondering what kind of story you want. I didn't do any. I spent the last 2 days literally like nose in the books to like, I don't even know. You know, you were there.
I'll tell a story then. Let me tell a story real quick. I'm going to tell a quick story before yours.
Okay.
If that's all right.
Yeah.
Give me a minute to collect myself. It was a dark night. 'Cause that's what happens at night. No, I just wanted to kill some time there. No, so I was thinking about this earlier today. The first time I drank was like, I mean, when I was like 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 or 9, whenever those. And New Year's Eve would come around and I would see a beer and take a drink, and I'd be like, pluck, that's gross. So I don't really count that. But the first time that I drank and was like, oh, what is this? It was with my stepbrother. My stepbrother Claude came over and he's like, let's go for a ride in the Camaro or whatever he had. I was like, okay. And I thought the world of Claude. He recently passed away a year ago, matter of fact. And so I wanted to be that cool big brother too. And there was a time I was living in Kalamazoo. I was working for WRKR. I just kind of moved up there and I picked my younger brother up and was like, hey, come spend the weekend with me and we'll play video games and hang out. And he's like, okay. And he might have been like 14, something like that. And so picked him up and I got some liquor and I was like, here. And I think I even got orange juice, you know? Mm-hmm. And I thought I was being cool, and I'm glad he didn't take the same road I did. But there's a lot of things. It's not my stepbrother's fault. I'm not trying to say that is either. You know, there's a lot of different things that led me where I ended up, and it was me that did all that. You know, I made those choices, but I'm just glad that he didn't, you know, get that whoa, you know, like I did. And again, you know, it would have taken years. Like, you don't just take one drink and boom, you're an alcoholic. That's not how that works. But I just remember looking back at, I don't remember. I mean, I remember the whole weekend in it. You know, I don't think he had fun at all. I think I was passed out and it just wasn't fun for him. And that's one of the moments that I regret in life. Mm-hmm. Not regret, but I wish I wouldn't have done that. And nothing I can do about it. Right. But I thought I was being the cool stepbrother. Mm-hmm. Or not stepbrother, I'm his half brother, but I thought I was being cool at the time. But looking back, you know, it's like, damn. Hope he doesn't hate me because of that, but I don't think he does. But
yeah, I had that same experience. But my sister was in college in California. And I'm like, she's in college. Like, she's already all down with this, like, I'm not going to teach her anything she doesn't already know. It's not like I was, like tainting her education or, trying to persuade her lifestyle. But she was still living on campus. And my brother lived still, he lived in La Jolla, California. And so she had, dorm mates or roommates or whatever, and their campus was set up so they had like their own, like it was a big dorm room. So I was just coming like just for like one night or whatever. And so I stopped and she told all her roommates or whatever that I was coming. And she's 3 years younger than me. And so I had gone to the liquor store and brought like these different kinds of alcohol, for these like little freshman girls. And I think every single one of them got sick that night.
That's what's up. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, was that like one of my finest moments? My mentality was like, it wasn't any sort of peer pressure. I mean, she had drank before. They talked about how they party and stuff on the weekends. They were supposed to show me the ropes of, where they live and so on. We ended up at some like house party, and they had like, there was like a rooftop that had all this like garden, like flowers and stuff on it. And I remember my sister looking at me like, I gotta go home. And I was like, let's get you back, so we had to like round everybody up. And I don't know. I mean, that was one of the moments where I actually like maintained my composure. So I don't know if that was like the big sister thing coming out of me, but I also think about it too. And this makes me sort of reflect on my journey through my disease and like where I was when I was where I was. And so that would have put me at like, 23, 24, right? And so I wasn't really heavy into my like alcoholic drinking. That didn't start until like 25, something like that. So maybe a little after. So anyway, I was still like having sober days and, not all drunk nights. Those actually existed for me, like without trying too hard. Until it reached a point where I didn't. So it's an interesting thing because was I proud of that? I mean, at the time, all I thought was, I'm the one who brought all this booze. Like all these girls are intoxicated. And it was only like 2 other girls and my sister. I was like, I'm not about to be the one that something bad goes wrong. So that's kind of why I had my wits about me. But yeah, so I don't even know if I talked to her about that. I'm sure she'd remember it, but yeah. I mean, it was fun. It was one of those things. I don't know if we were trying to make memories, like if that was even looked at as being healthy or unhealthy or bad or.
Said it was fun. Like it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what fun was supposed to be.
Yeah.
Like now your idea of fun is way different.
Yeah. And it's funny because like so many people can tell that story and have it be way more, I don't know, messed up and have things go wrong. And those people may or are not people that ended up with a problem with alcohol.
Right.
It's normal people have those experiences and they tell these stories and, it's no big thing. And like for me, and because of what I went through, let's say before that, during that, after that time, it means something more to me, Yeah.
The whole, let's get the younger one drunk because that's what happened to me. There's a lot of things in life that happen that way, not just drinking. But drinking is, in my opinion, one of the most dangerous drugs on earth, but yet, it's legal. And when people are like, oh, there's no way. I mean, there's some states that don't even have marijuana legal. Again, I've said this before, legalize it all, man. At least you know what you're getting. Mm-hmm. You can go buy your weed at the store, Cool. You know what you're getting. You know, if you could buy your heroin at the store, you know what you're getting. You know, oh, but that's bad. It kills people. Hello, have you met alcohol? It's the biggest killer out there. But that's cool. You can go get that. Oh, but that's more gradual. Okay, they all kind of are. You know, like I don't think people die from smoking weed, I mean, unless they do something stupid. But like that doesn't just shut their bodies down. To my knowledge, I'm sure it's not good for you. I'm sure it's not great for your lungs. Does it cause cancer? Again, people are coming up with all these crazy ass strains and look, man, this bud's got some crystals in it, bro. Let's smoke it up. Yeah, don't talk to me about vaping. That's all I'm gonna say. But I don't know. The way I look at it is a lot different than what I used to look at different drugs and stuff like that. And people might be like, Corey, what are you talking about? You're crazy. No, well, yeah, but just the fact that what are people putting in it, you know, and back in the day at the prohibition times, like people will get bad batches and it was not good, you know? So that was, I think, part of their reasoning too, back in the day about, well, first of all, you just created organized crime. And now like people are dying because they're getting bad batches and, you know, it's just a bunch of shady people involved. And so they legalize it, and then, you know, those people are like, all right, let's move on to the next. You know, what else is illegal that people want to get? And if you just legalize it, cutting out some drug dealers, I mean, I don't know. Like, then people are like, yeah, but you can't legalize meth. No. That's one that I would say no on.
Right. Well, one thing that I was thinking about, too, is that about the sibling thing, to come back to the sibling thing, is that, you know, just like parents, and we learn from example, right? So like that's why, like, oh, you know, have a good example for your children. It's the same thing with older siblings. You know, you might not be their parents, but they look up to you, you know, and they might not follow exactly what you do, but they're watching what is to be done. That's for sure. So, I mean, I think that you have more influence than you think, you know, when you're an older sibling, and whether they think it's cool because you say it's cool, or they just pick up on your behaviors, you know, I don't know.
And there's other family members that, you know, my family members will say, oh, they drink too much and you're going to turn out just like Corey, which is kind of not something they, in my personal opinion, that they should say. Because if you told me that and I was said person that people are saying, oh, you have a drinking problem, oh, you're going to turn out just like Corey. How's Corey doing? Oh, Corey turned around. Corey can turn around. I can turn it around. So if I drink too much, whatever, you know, it'll be fine. I can stop one day. And to that person, I would say, watch My Name Was Betty on Amazon Prime. Watch that show and tell me you want to drink. Here's the thing. We're all young once. Nothing's going to get us. And especially early on, like you said, early 20s. I was like 24, 25 when I had my little brother over and decided, let's get drunk. He didn't even drink. I mean, he might have had a sip, but he was like, okay. Like, he wasn't like, yeah. But nothing's going to touch us, man. And when we're in that stage of our drinking, yeah, I didn't drink every day. I could go days without it, sure. But it caught up to me later. And I never thought it would, because I was just always too young to have a problem with it. And yeah, we got drunk that night, but that's what we're supposed to do. It's a weekend and all that jazz. But we're only young once. And looking back at it, especially for females, you know, it ages you. And it ages your body. It ages your organs. Like, alcohol is not good to women. It's 2, 3, 4, 5, I don't know, 7 times worse for women than it is for men. And I've seen beautiful people turn out not so beautiful, at least on the outside. I mean, they still might be great people inside too, I guess. But no, I'm just saying, like, when they look back, you know, like if you kept drinking until you were 50, you probably look 70.
Yeah.
and that's just facts. And your body starts breaking down and everything, and then you get to 50 and you're like, wish I would have done that. Corey turned it around. Well, Corey almost died at 36.
Right.
And Corey's got a penis. So, yeah, alcohol is bad, obviously, clearly to his body, but it doesn't do the same things. Mm-hmm. And so, I don't know. I would just say, especially to women out there, like, watch that. Watch that documentary. It's not very long. It'll make you mad. It's kind of old looking anyway, but watch it. Show it to your daughters. Show it to everybody, especially when they're young. You got teenagers. Show it to them.
Yeah.
They should show that in schools.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely shocking.
And say, look, you think you're all young and pretty now, like, keep drinking. Like, this it doesn't take long. And before you know it, and especially people our age and older than us, time flies when you get older. Mm-hmm. Like, it took forever to get to 15, 16, took 100 years. Not anymore.
It felt like took 20 years to get to 20 from 10. Like,
oh man, one day I'm gonna be able to drive, and one day yeah, well, it comes, and next thing you know, time is flying, and I can't be the only person that's ever said that. I know that.
Right.
So I'm just saying, before you know it, and you get caught up in that drinking thing, and I'm gonna come home, I had a rough day at work, glass of wine, okay, well, tolerance, then it's 2 glasses of wine, then it's 3, and the next thing you know, it's a whole bottle, and then you're buying the stuff you're throwing in the fridge, the box wine, and well, that's fine. And then you're gonna sneaky, I just have a bottle a night. Well, you're gonna open one bottle, put a cork back in it, and then got your stash around the corner in the other fridge or downstairs. Or you realize, the box doesn't really need to go in the fridge. You'll keep it in the laundry room or the bathroom, and you'll walk around. I'm doing laundry. You'll make excuses and reasons. You'll do laundry just so you can go in there to fill your glass back up. Mm-hmm. And then you're like, oh shit, what's going on? Well, I don't want to do it in front of him because he's going to tell me that this and that. And I can just keep the same glass and just be like, look, I've only had 1 or 2 glasses of wine. It's not that big a deal. Meanwhile, you're trashed. Person knows. And you're just trying to flat out lie. It becomes a problem. And then at that time, it's just like, what do I do now? I remember hiding bottles under the couch cushion. Mm-hmm. And this person I was living with was like, did I just find a bottle of empty vodka under the couch cushion? Yeah, you did. Why did you put an empty bottle of vodka under the couch cushion? I said, I didn't think you'd find it there. Like, obviously, like, don't be stupid. I didn't think you'd find it there, and it was just like, it should have been a wake up moment for me, but I felt like I was being judged, and I was just like, don't look in the bathroom. I was just like, glad you didn't find those ones. But
did you say that?
No, of course not. But I was thinking that, like, oh my gosh.
Her bathroom?
My bathroom.
Oh, you had separate bathrooms?
Kind of, yeah, and like all my stuff was in there, and I had clothes, and I would just throw a bottle. I would get home like 5 minutes before that person, and I'd run to my bathroom. I would grab a beer first, crack it, because you have to drink a beer in the bathroom, right? And then I would have a pint or 2 in the bathroom with me, and I'd be killing it in there. And then when I would be done with it, I would wrap it up in a shirt, and I'd put it in the closet. And then I'd walk out with the beer and be like, yep, just drinking beer. And that person was like, okay, well, don't be getting too drunk. It's Tuesday, And I'm like, okay. And then I would always go back in that bathroom when I wanted to go pee, because I had the other one in there. Ugh.
It's a lot of work.
I only had 2 beers. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It's horrible. It's a horrible.
Sounds exhausting.
It really was. And then the fact that I went through all that trouble, though, just to hide it. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that was because I didn't. I think it was just because I didn't want to quit. I didn't know quitting was an option. And I wanted to escape the hell that was my life. I was not happy with any part of my life. I didn't know what else to do with it. I don't know. There's a lot of things, really.
Yeah.
But if you know someone who's stuck out there like that, pray for them.
Yeah, I remember all the whole hiding spot thing and all that, putting it places. Sometimes I don't even remember where I put stuff, honestly, like because I didn't want to keep it in the same spot. I remember back of my in the back of my pillowcase. I'd put shit in the back of my pillowcase.
What?
It's like nobody's gonna make my bed. Like it's my bed. So like when I was living with my mom, like there's no way, in between the mattresses. Laundry basket. I always put stuff in my laundry basket. In between the stacks of my clothes, and then I couldn't remember where, in this clothes, I would put them, like in between jeans and whatever. That's a mess. It's just like when you're hiding something like that, like it's not like when you're hiding a Christmas gift you got somebody, and you're like, where am I going to put it? They're not going to look. Like this is like real, like every day you need to get to it. That's your disease, like owning you. And you don't have to live that way. Like it is exhausting. You guys that are listening, you know what I'm talking about. And like, so just keep those things sometimes, have moments like this. And this is not Corey and I trying to like dig up the good old days or like, let's share our secrets of drinking with you. It's get it out there. Like this is the chaos that was our world. Yeah.
We're being honest because the stuff that we've been through, it's something that everybody does. Like I didn't have to say, hey, Marney, did you hide stuff? I already know you did. Like that's why I brought it up. It was on my mind. That's the beauty of this podcast. There's nothing planned except for the intimacy game that it's going to happen. But that's it. We don't sit here and go, hey, let's pregame it tonight. Some podcasts do. That's great. That's not how this one works. And some would say that's the beauty. Some would say that's why it sucks. Whatever. It's for me. It's for you. Because when we do the podcast, we're sober. So anyway, yeah, we're not trying to be like, yeah, I drank more than you did. And it's funny because I had a conversation with a gentleman about that the other day. He was telling me he was in treatment and he said it was just war story central. And sometimes it gets that way. People come in and they got to one up one person, one up somebody. And I told them a fun game to play because, of course, I'm the king of rehabs and playing games at rehab. So I said, well, what you do, if someone's talking about like, hey, I used to drink a half gallon a day, half a half gallon. So like a fifth, I used to drink a fifth a day. Oh man, I drink freaking 2/5 a day. Like, oh man, I used to, do cocaine and then I didn't do it to make money, but I sold it. So I get mine for free. Oh man, I used to sell bricks, bro. Oh man. And then you hit him with did you ever suck any dick for it? Or, did it get as bad? Did it get so bad that you had to suck dick for it? You kind of throw it out there and then be like, sure, man, I sucked 4 dicks for him, man. And I'm like, damn, I never got that bad, bro. Like I just stopped and switched back to alcohol, Like you talk to therapists about it? Is that something that you're cool? I mean, some people are like that. You're looking at me like, what are you talking about? But no, I just was saying, if you want to have fun with those people, that's a way to do it. Throw out something there that you would think would be a little outrageous. Like, whoa, like did you ever like run over your animal for it? Like I don't know, like yeah, man, I ran over both my dogs because drug dealer said to, so I did. Thought the dogs were cops. I don't know.
Oh my God.
Some people take it so far though. Like seriously, like whatever you say, they'll say that times 10. So let's just have a little fun with them. Is my point with that.
Like, I feel like I stole a car. You're like, I stole a parking lot of cars.
Yeah, well, I used to sell them and then resell them
to the same person
at a car lot. Yeah. Oh yeah, well I sold a minivan to the whole family.
Just say your mama in there somewhere, and then we're right in Corey world. Then all is good with your stories.
What?
That's what's up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right. Well, speaking of being what's up, tonight on the intimacy game, it's time. It's Saturday night, and that means one thing. They're both gonna answer questions honestly. It's time for the intimacy game. Corey and Marney. Draw a question from the box, and we're gonna answer it honestly. Here on the intimacy game. Intimacy game. It's time time for the intimacy game. Marney drew cards from the box. Did you draw one or two?
One. This is the description of what the colors mean.
Oh, man, we should have started with that.
Yeah.
Read it to everybody.
Yeah, so this says, want me to read it?
Yeah.
So whether you're starting a new relationship or reinvigorating an existing one, the intimacy deck will get you talking at a deep and meaningful level, with prompts that encourage you to speak your truths, share your past, and plan for your future. It's your guide to a healthier and happier relationship. Your deck contains 150 questions split across 6 different categories. Pick a card, ask your partner the question, and see where your conversation leads. You might be surprised by the twists and turns your discussions take. These questions are designed to help you get to know each other better, so get ready to be open, vulnerable, and even a little uncomfortable. It's worth it. The more you talk, the more your relationship will grow to a new level.
Okay. Thanks for that. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, Marty. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. So,
there's a light next to you in the office,
I do
in the
know that.
studio here, 217 Recovery Studio.
There you go.
Let's see. I bet that makes it a lot easier to read, huh?
I already could read it, but...
Super eyes. All right, so you went first last week. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to go
So
first.
what color's your card?
Blue.
Like dark blue or baby blue? Okay.
Baby blue.
So that is about relationship.
Oh, are you scared?
No.
What color's yours?
Red.
And what does that mean?
Intimacy.
Ooh, intimacy game. All right, so how this works is some of these are gonna be some hot topics for sure, and make us feel uncomfortable. I'm gonna read the question, I'm gonna answer it. Then Marnie is gonna answer the question, and then Marnie's gonna read her question, answer it. Then I'm gonna answer her question. Mm-hmm. So, my question: what do you feel is the most romantic thing I've ever done for you?
I can tell you like my for sure answer, but it's just people are going to think that I'm like making it up because it's obvious. But it was definitely your proposal.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
But you do a lot of like little romantic things a lot. But that's probably a card that's in there somewhere as well. But I mean, hands down, that was probably the most romantic moment.
Yeah. And we've told that story on the podcast, so go back to August of 2020 if you want to hear that.
Yeah.
Like August 6th, 7th, 8th, something like that. I think we tell the story around there.
Well, I can just tell you why. Is just because it was so like from the heart, and you were like uncomfortable and nervous, which made me know that it was real. And so yeah, I'll always remember that.
Well, there's so many of them from you. I don't know. My birthday this last year was pretty sweet. Mackinac Island, I don't just like spending time with you, and I don't know. But my birthday though was really sweet. And our dinner, and we had this huge dessert, and it was very romantic. Got in the hot tub with you for like 2 seconds.
Went to a comedy show.
Yeah, that weather wasn't. Well, I don't know. Like, we have a lot of romantic moments, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So you've done a lot of them, but I would say the birthday, because that's something that you kind of planned out, and our dinner at the Italian place. I can't remember the name of it, but it was really good, and you should go there if you're ever in Grand Rapids.
It was called Salvador's.
Yeah, something like that. Salvatini's, or
Maybe it was not Salvador's, but it's something like that. Just look up Italian restaurants, Grand Rapids.
Yeah.
And it starts with an S.
Yeah, it's cheap.
And it was cheap and it was delicious. And
Yeah.
get there. All you need to do is, well, we've only been there one time, so we can't really say all
Bruschetta,
that much
though.
about everything.
That's a meal.
Is there bruschetta?
It's a
meal. Just go there for that.
Yeah. It was a good time.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is, you can take this and answer however you want. It's a little kind of off-putting.
Okay, no, I'm scared.
But How has your childhood or upbringing shaped your sexuality?
How has my childhood or
Upbringing.
shaped my sexuality? Well, this probably does not have anything to do with what that means, but when I was a youngin', as a kid, my mom told me that women love to make out.
That's what's up, you know what I'm saying?
So I tried to be really good at that.
Oh, that women love to kiss?
Yes. So I thought, well, I'll have to be good at that. So, I mean, I don't think that's the correct way to answer that question.
I think it's kind of a vague kind of question. I mean, your sexuality, like your sexual self, or like how you view your sexuality, like all kinds of things. So, like for me, my parents were divorced when I was like 7, 8.
Oh, yeah. My parents were divorced when I was like, what's up?
Right. No.
Just
So,
kidding.
no, but I remember like for the birds and the bees stuff, we had like these books that was like, where do babies come from?
Oh, yeah. Well, I had 3 books that said that.
I'm sure you did.
Again,
And,
it's planned.
and it was really cute. I'm sure, I don't know where it is
wait,
now.
hold on. I
but-
gotta go back because I was too busy joking around.
Uh-huh.
So, when you were growing up, okay, your parents divorced. I heard you say that. But you had a book about the birds and the bees? Mm-hmm. And how old you was? 8, 9? 10?
I don't know. I mean, I think when I really looked at it, my parents were divorced, right? So I was
Whose house were the books at?
my mom's.
Okay. Did she read the books to you?
I think so.
Did she tell you that the bird was the guy?
No, they were pictures. Oh, yeah. They were cartoon characters.
Okay. But it was like they having sex. Like that's what you thought when you after the book
It was talking about like 2 people who love each other, and it had a picture of like a mom and then talk like shows them a picture of them holding hands, like being in a relationship, and then it shows a picture of them being married.
This is what.
And then it says about them wanting to be close to each other, the closest they could possibly be because they love each other.
And like she would do this because she had like a bunch of dudes coming over or something.
No, Corey. It was
So she wanted
very.
you guys to be like, hey, it's okay. Mama's just.
It was a very kind of like whatever
She
you want to
doesn't
call it,
listen
soft
anyway.
introduction to
Oh, be careful with that. It's
like
talking
how
too
babies are
much
made.
sex. Yeah, just
you know.
soft introduction.
And then I can tell you something funny
Okay.
about this. Well, it's not really about this. Well, I guess it kind of
Oh,
is. But
yeah.
I remember when my mom was giving us the like having like when my brother, because my brother didn't date. Sorry, Dorian, you never listen to this, so I'm not worried about it. I'm not trying to dog you or anything. But like he didn't have any like relation, like
Girls weren't coming over.
no, like ever,
No.
like never. I remember, I think the first girlfriend he had, he was like a senior in high school. So there was a girl he was dating then, I remember, who came over like once or twice. But anyhow, in terms of like having or like boys over, or if I was going over to like my boyfriend's house, and I had a boyfriend like for years, like when I was in high school.
He was always taken.
I was not like romping around different boys or anything.
Comes later.
But anyhow, so my mom obviously was acknowledging the fact that we were getting older, and he was my boyfriend. And I remember she always talked about, when she was talking about safe sex, she always would make reference to using protection, but then she would I don't even know where this comes from. If this is, tell me if you've heard this. She calls like, okay, I don't even know what to call it except for what is the actual thing.
It's gonna be good.
No, she calls it heavy petting, right? So like not intercourse and not kissing.
You guys out there, don't be heavy petting.
Heavy petting. So like beyond groping, obviously, what have you. So
your mom caught you heavy petting.
no. She just would say like, if you're going to go past heavy petting, then she needs to know if we needed any, contraception.
Okay, so when you had that talk with her, was that awkward?
No.
You were like, all right, Mom, we moved past the heavy petting.
She was just like, I know you're already like probably on top, like basically like giving me credit for like being responsible and
like Jimbo's not good at heavy petting.
And plus,
so
like
we moved on.
I was in such like my social network at that time was I had a ton of like really close. I call my friends that are girlfriends, and which threw you off at one point.
Way off.
So I had like 10 or 11 like girlfriends, like really close girlfriends, and I mean they were all usually on my sports team, soccer team. I only played soccer, and so like we were always over at each other's houses all the time, like talking, chatting, whatever. That's how I learned about my period. That's how I learned about how to use a tampon. That's how my mom didn't have to tell me any of that stuff. So by that time I had already heard it all. So
what'd you hear? What were you afraid of the most?
Of what?
Well, the whole, because you were like,
of like the first time
15, 16, and you're like, this heavy petting stuff, it's horrible. Jimbo sucks at it.
I told you I only had one. I had a significant all through when I was in high school.
You're like, all right, it's time for Kevin.
No.
Jeff. I like Jimbo. It's time for Jimbo and I to seal the knot.
I mean, I think there's that whole like, obviously for a girl, it's like, it's going to hurt me.
So that's what you're afraid of.
Yeah. That's not even my card.
I know. Isn't it great? It's story time with Marney.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, there you go. There's lots of stories.
So when you were at your girlfriend's house, what else did you guys talk about?
Everything.
Did you talk about drinking?
Yeah. I mean, if we were going to be drinking, I was so into sports when I was in high school. Like the only time that we ever really drank was if we knew that we didn't have like a sports obligation the next day. And if it was, homecoming or whatever, or people are having bonfires or parties because their parents are out of town. I remember when I was on varsity soccer and I was one of the younger players and the older girls on the team, her parents were out of town. Her name was Katie something. Anyway, I can't really remember. But she had me come over there early to help like get things ready. Mm-hmm. And she showed me like cut this watermelon in half and pour.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was a disaster. But
Ugh, yeah. Well, that was fun. We got to know a lot more about Marney, and my mom told me to pay attention to girls and they like to kiss. So that's
you did.
Marney went with her whole.
Thanks,
like,
Mom.
Here's how I got to use I found out how to use tampon, and yeah,
that was good advice you gave.
Yeah, it was, and yeah, because I just remember like, okay, well, yeah, I want girls to like me, and I want to be good at that, so. Practice on my arm or whatever. No, I would listen, and I don't know. I just went with the feeling of it, I guess. Mm-hmm. Would you say I'm a good kisser?
I think you're a phenomenal kisser.
Okay, good. Better than Jimbo.
Yeah, way better than Jimbo.
That's the reason why he's an ex-boyfriend. You know what I'm saying? No, but thanks for listening, though, tonight. Marty's got to get ready for fantasy football.
Yeah.
You played David.
Mm-hmm. Projected to lose.
David G. Yeah, you're projected to lose like 15 or something.
We'll see.
But you got Josh Allen. So as long as they can let him play the whole game.
That'd be sweet.
Maybe he can get the full amount of points he's supposed to get. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I play April, which is Justin's fiance, and I'm projected to beat her by like a half point. Ooh. Yeah, and I traded for Jared Goff today with Tyrone. Mm-hmm. I gave Tyrone Chase Edmonds as a running back for Miami. The Fantasy Footballers podcast, they gave us this draft kit, right? Which helps people, who've never played fantasy football before. And I guess it can help other people too, but there's just like, oh, Chase Edmonds. And they always say to pick these people up, and like all those people that they say to pick up are horrible this year so far. And Chase Edmonds somehow ended up on my team, and I am not happy. And Jared Goff, I think, is going to do great. And then the Lions have that wide receiver that's coming back. So I was like, I got to make my move now. And threw it out there to Tyrone, and Tyrone said, hey, I got Goff. And I'm like, okay, here's Edmonds then. Good luck. Tyrone's 2-0. He's second place behind you. So fantasy football, the sober league. It's a lot of fun.
Yep.
I think we're going to do a Discord tomorrow on that. So if you're on Discord, you already know what it is. If you're not, download it. It's an app. You can get it on your computer too. But Discord is, you can sign in, and then you can look for 217 Recovery. And I'll probably send out, I think there's like some kind of email or something I can send out, but it'll go to like all 5,000 of my friends or something. So I don't really know if I want that. So just look for us, and you can like us. And then if you like us or follow us or whatever, subscribe. Then when we go live, you'll get a notification. So that way you can jump on, and if you want to tell your story or talk fantasy football or talk about cleaning the kitchen or using tampons, whatever you want to talk about, it's a chance for you to kind of talk back with us. And if you have questions or advice or whatever, give it to us, feel free. So that's tomorrow morning. A little fantasy football Discord with 217
What time
Recovery.
is that?
When we do it, 10,
I have
11.
I have work.
Okay, Marnie's got work. Corey does. This is my work. That's my new work, is Discord.
Okay.
And that will be going on tomorrow. But like I said, once you follow us or subscribe to us, I sent you a link and you didn't even like it. Honey, I'm talking to you. Yeah, Justin did.
You sent me a link?
Yeah, weeks ago. I think Justin was the only one to answer back to it. So I was like, oh. And then after the draft, Justin was like, that was a good draft. That's how long ago it was. So anyway, it might just be Justin and I talking about fantasy football tomorrow.
Okay.
But once we go live, it tells you, boop, hey, join the conversation. So make sure you allow notifications, and allow notifications on our 217 Recovery app too. Much love. See you Tuesday. And, well, I'll see you tomorrow on the Discord. But
Have a good
Marnie
night.
will chat with you Tuesday maybe.
Have a good night, everybody.
See ya.
Thanks for listening to the 217 Recovery Podcast. Win a bunch of free shit from 217 Recovery. Go to the app or the website, 217recovery.com.